The Supermarine Scimitar was a single-seat naval strike fighter developed for Britain's Fleet Air Arm. The story of its development is slightly odd. As the early jets were being developed, the idea arose of equipping aircraft carriers with flexible rubber decks. These would allow the operation of aircraft without undercarriage, saving weight and improving performance when jet engines really weren't all that strong. The Supermarine Type 505 was designed with this in mind, a large twin-engined fighter with straight wings and a V-tail. The Admiralty changed their mind about the idea of flexible decks, so Supermarine reworked the aircraft to create the Type 508 with a conventional tricycle undercarriage. This aircraft flew in August 1951. After trials revealed a modest top speed, a swept wing was adopted, creating the Type 544 to Naval Requirement N113. This became the prototype for the Scimitar. The first flight of the Type 544 was in January 1956, with the first production aircraft flying a year later. Operational training commenced in 1958 with 803 Naval Air Squadron later embarking on HMS Victorious. Originally designed as a fighter, the Scimitar also took on attack roles with bombs, rockets and eventually the bullpup guided missile. Later models could also carry the Sidewinder air-to-air missile. The Scimitar was also the Royal Navy's first jet capable of carrying the Redbeard nuclear bomb. The Scimitar was a large and powerful aircraft operating on Britain's relatively small aircraft carriers. To reduce landing speed, air bled from the jets was blown over the surfaces of the wings to reduce stall speed, and on takeoff the aircraft was given a distinctly nose-up attitude on the catapult. Despite these improvements, some 39 of 76 Scimitars delivered, or about 51%, were lost in accidents, mainly on landing. One was even famously caught on newsreel, an accident that led to the sad death of Commander John Russell, commanding officer of 803 Naval Air Squadron. As naval aviation developed, the Scimitar was left in the strike role, with the fighter role being taken by aircraft such as the de Havilland Sea Vixen. Ultimately, the Scimitar itself was replaced by the Blackburn Buccaneer. However, because the early underpowered Buccaneer S1 was unable to take off with full weapons and full fuel, the Scimitar was retained as a tanker aircraft, allowing the Buccaneers to take off with a full bomb load, then getting a full top-up of fuel. The Scimitar was finally retired in 1969. 3 Scimitar airframes still exist today, one on the Empire State Aerosciences Museum in New York, one at the Solent Sky Museum at Southampton, and one at the Fleet Air Arm Museum at Yeovilton in southwest England. The Scimitar has been a difficult kit for model makers. Originally in 1/48 scale, there were only vac form kits available, such as one from Contrail, from Nimbus, from Sanger, or from Dynavector. Then, about a decade back, Scratch Aeronautics in Spain created a 1/48 scale resin kit of the Scimitar. However, I'm pleased to say that coming in 2023 is a brand new polystyrene kit from DB Model Kits. Keep an eye out on my channel for this because I am definitely getting one. In 1/72nd, Frog made a very basic kit in 1957, and there have been limited run kits from Skyward's 86 and Merlin models. In 2001, CMR released a fairly unsatisfactory 1/72nd kit in resin, but in 2011 released a better proportioned kit, again in resin. But in 2009, Extra Kit, working with Sword, released a styrene kit in 1/72nd. These now attract crazy prices on the second-hand market. It really is time that someone like Airfix released a new tool of this very important aircraft.